Hey guys, welcome on our Thursday talk. Um, if you are listening live, please drop down where you're listening from. If you're listening replay, just put replay on so I can say hi to you. And oops, my cell phone. Today we're going to start with a new series. We're going to talk about sleep. I noticed recently that in a lot of conversations I was listening and hearing that people around me are struggling with sleep. They're struggling to fall asleep or they're just not sleeping well. And that's the reason why I wanted to do this series now on night rest and how God has designed our bodies to sleep. And I want to share today a little bit about my story, how I struggled with sleep and how I went through this process of healing. And yeah, I want to share some truths with you that helped me. But first of all, before we start, I want to ask you, have you already struggled with sleep? Or are you struggling with sleep now? So if you already struggled with sleep, drop down a 1. And if you are right now struggling to sleep, if you're struggling to sleep and have a good night rest, put down a 2, just to know. And maybe it will be helpful to define for you what good sleep looks like. So good sleep means that you easily fall asleep, that you stay asleep during the night, and that you wake up refreshed. So if you're not having that, you might struggle with sleep. But I want to tell you about how God has designed our bodies to rest. God has designed our bodies to sleep. And during the night, important processes happen. So first and for all, our body gets renewed. Hi, Lynn. Okay. Yeah, I heard that quite a lot of people are starting to sleep now. So I hope this will be useful for you. So during the night, it's like, have you ever had to reboot your cell phone? And after that, your cell phone works so much faster. So that's kind of like what's happening with us during the night. God is rebooting us, or He's refreshing our body and preparing us for the next day. And other things that happen during the night is God instructs us and inspires us. He equips us for the day ahead, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. So we can really we can say that sleep is very important. Sleep, having good night rests, has a big impact on how we function during our days, during our day, how our emotions are, but also spiritually, how we connect with God. And we can say that the devil has a plan. He has a plan to cut us off from this communication that happens during the night with God and us. He does this through disrupting our sleep. And disrupting our sleep doesn't only cut us off from a certain communication that God has for us during the night, but also makes us quite tired and without energy and emotionally down. So it is so important to have good night rest. And so there are different reasons why certain people struggle with sleep. If you want to put your reason down, feel free to do so. So it can be fear, it can be anxiety about your day, about all the things, a project that you're working on, or the uncertainties that happen. It can be just physical, certain diseases, or having bad habits. Even that can hinder you with sleep. And therefore, I want to share you my story, what my struggle was with sleep. So ever since I was little, I never have a memory of sleeping good. I was a horrible sleeper, and my mom would tell me that even as a baby, I would cry and cry and cry, and I wouldn't want to sleep alone. And then when I grew up a little bit and I was a toddler, or how you say it, a preschooler, then I would find all these reasons why not to go to bed, and always climb out of my bed, get out of the room, sit on the staircase, and listen to my parents watching TV just to not feel alone. And my reason for not sleeping was I was terrified. I had so much fear during the night. Yeah, all kind of things happens, and I had so much fear to sleep. As I grew up a little bit and I was a teenager, I could kind of suppress my fear. And some days it was there, other days it wasn't. But now I had created these habits that it was kind of like I taught myself how not to fall asleep, how to keep myself awake. So I would use fantasy. I would make up these whole stories in my mind that would just keep me awake. Or I would just keep myself busy with reading or whatever until as an adult, I really didn't know how to sleep anymore, how to fall asleep. I didn't know how you do that. And although God started to this healing process of trauma and of the fear that I had during the night started as a young adult when I really started to learning truths about the night, truth about that the night is God's design, that God created the night. The night is not of the darkness, it is God's time to communicate with me. And just that simple truth that really made me look different to the nighttime. And it started to create a desire in me to actually have that kind of communication with God and to sleep well. So, but at that time, I didn't know how to sleep anymore because I was so used to keeping myself awake, and it turned into a habit that I wasn't conscious about. And one of the things that really helped me, I must tell you, it has really been a process for me. So it's not like it's been like this, that one day I couldn't sleep and then the other I'm like this fast sleeper. I fall asleep right away. No, I still struggle at times, but I don't have fear in the night anymore. And I don't dread to go to bed. I see the nighttime as my a special time, and I look forward to the time that I can sleep. But one of the things that really helped me in this process is this book that I want to show you. So this is a book called Winning the Battle of the Night from, let me look, Faith Blatchford. And I really love to read. I love to read, and you will hear me a lot speaking about books because it just helps us grow. It helps us, it just grows us really. And this book was one of the tools that helped me to start this process of healing and to teach myself how to sleep and to get truth in my head about the nighttime and about God's activity during the night. So, like I said, I'm not completely there yet. I'm so in the process, but I have so much breakthrough. And the greatest thing is our boys, they sleep so well. It was one thing that was really important for me, and I really prayed on that. And I was really my own breakthrough for sleep. I didn't do that just for me, but I also was thinking about what I'm going to pass on to the next generation. So for me, that was really important. And just let us look at some truths about what God does during the nighttime. So first and for all, in Psalm 121, it's been a really busy day today. We're going to talk about it later on our next live about our countdown that you see there. So I'm a bit, I have to think a lot, but please bear with me. So in Psalm 121, verse 4, it says this: indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. So this tells us that God watches over me. So for me, this tells me God watches over me during the night, so I don't have to have fear. I'm not alone here. God is awake. He's with me. And a second thing, he continues to work out his purposes in us. So the second thing is, I don't need to be anxious about my to-do list for tomorrow because God is working on it. He's working on his plan through us. You know, the things he called us to, he's even working for us as we sleep. And for me, I know this maybe is not new, but for me, just to remind myself about that during the night helps me so much. It was just such a a release that I felt like. So God is always watching over us. He doesn't sleep. We do read that God rested, but God is outside of time, and he's always focused on his plan to see his lost people get back to him, and to see more of his kingdom here on earth, to see more of healing coming on this earth, more of just everything that comes with his kingdom. So I'm just going to look at the comments. Hi, Doris. Great to have you with me. Yes, legacy. It's so important. So that's the first truth that really helped me. Understanding God's role during the night, that he's there. And I've read in another book a story of a man that woke up during the night. And as he woke up, he saw his wife laying next to him, and he watched her. And he suddenly felt such an awe about, there is his wife, and he was so like in love with her, thinking like, she's so beautiful, wow. And then all of a sudden God started speaking to him and saying like, yeah, that is how I watch, like how I look at you when you are asleep. I'm just amazed over you. I'm just looking all, wow. And that was also a nice picture for me to just grab hold of. And I think us who already have children, we know how it's like to go into their bedrooms when they're little and just to watch them sleep. We just are so wow over them. So it's just so wonderful to know that God is just so wowed over us, and he sings songs over us during the night. His presence is with us during the night. So the second thing, and this is really important for our spiritual growth to understand, is that God often speaks to his people through dreams and visions. So that also makes that the nighttime is very important. And we see that in the Old Testament when God would speak to his prophets through dreams and visions, but also in the New Testament. Now God speaks to everyone through dreams and visions. And those dreams and visions, they just prepare us for the day. They give us direction, strategy, wisdom, deliverance, sometimes revelation, inventive ideas, encouragement. It's limitless what God can pour into us during the nighttime. So God is helping us in our call on earth. He collaborates with us. As the third thing, he is helping us even during the night. So I want to ask you, have you already had dreams during the night that you really felt God's presence, that you really felt like, I think God is speaking to me? I don't know if some of you have had that, but we can see, that God, sorry, I just clicked on something wrong here. You're all still here. We just see in the Bible that God speaks to people through dreams, but also we have examples of people that living now. And I want to give you some examples of some dreams that you might experience during the night. So there are warning dreams that you can have when God tries to warn you about something that is about to happen, and he wants to warn you, give you direction in this. So one of an example is very recent, and so I'm just going to think how I'm going to phrase this. So now it's a corona crisis, a pandemic over the world. This was something that I was speaking to certain people already, warning them about what is going to happen. So as an Every Nation family, we also have someone who functions as a prophet. And I heard him speak in a video about how God was warning him about something big that was going to happen, a crisis that would hit the world, and it was going to be big. And out of this, he reached out to some other leaders, and Unite 714 is now one of the initiatives that came out of those warnings. So God warns his people about what is happening, not just the prophets, but every one of us. He can warn us, not just about big world events, but about daily things, about our personal lives as well. And that's great. God is both interested in what's happening worldwide and what's happening in our personal lives. Then another kind of dream that you can experience during the night are wooing dreams, or like yeah, I don't have another word for it. Wooing dreams. So I'm just going to explain it. Maybe you already heard about those reports that Muslims are having dreams about Jesus, the man in white, and Jesus just visits them and during the night in their dreams without anyone ever testifying about Jesus. And that is so awesome. But I also have a personal example. One of the reasons or one of the confirmations for Elvis and I to go and plant a church in Lisbon was through dreams that both Elvis and I had on different times and different, times during the process as well. We both had a dream that God was calling us to Lisbon. And in my dream, it was people were crying out for help and were calling us to go to this city with the 7 hills, Lisbon. And it was just so amazing when I woke up, because it was in a season that I was really seeking for confirmation. Is this really what God wants for us? So it's so amazing what God does during the night. And then we also have dreams that bring revelation, that brings understanding about something that has happened in your life. For example, one of my friends recently had really a breakthrough during the night. She was struggling with an area in her life. And after having prayed with some people, she had a dream during the night. And God just pointed out so clearly what it was that was causing that area that was stuck. And so, yeah, I'm just giving you some examples to get you excited about the nighttime. And this is for you who maybe, like me, were afraid of the nighttime, or for you who are maybe so busy and think that sleeping is a waste of time, because sometimes we do think that, like, maybe if we stay up longer, do more, we can be more productive. But I just want to tell you today that the night is so important. It's so important because it's a special time that God communicates with us. It's a special time because our body is getting restored, and our emotions as well. We need our sleep, else we get grumpy. At least I do. Do you get grumpy if you sleep? If you don't sleep well, tell me if I'm not the only one. So one thing that really helped me is getting truth in. And today this is more in like an introduction of this series that we're going to do around sleep. And today I want to pray for you. I want to pray a prayer that's in this book over you. And that's gonna be the end already. So let me get it here. So if you want to pray with me, just put amen down, or just there, right there where you are. Let's pray. So Father, thank you. Thank you for your awareness of something as insignificant as the number of hairs on my head. In the midst of all the important issues that must be on your mind, you still think of those small things. Thank you that your activity at night is as a loving Father, watching over me as your child, giving comfort, encouragement, wisdom, and guidance to keep me safe while I sleep, as well as when I wake up. I welcome your presence while I sleep tonight. I trust you to know what I need even before I ask, and I trust you that you will supply everything I need for today. Amen. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that it has been valuable for you. I'm just going to read some of the comments still. Yes, Doris Stiles is saying that she often has best prayer time in the middle of the night. And yes, there are times that God does wakes us up to pray. So I'm glad that you experience those special moments to pray with God. So guys, have a great evening. We'll be back in a little bit over a half an hour, in 40 minutes. Yeah, if I get the time right, 40 minutes with our countdown that you see there. We're counting down the days, and it will be just so awesome if you can join us, just create some excitement, because we want to do this as a community, really. So lots of love from us. See you in 40 minutes again with Elvis, and then see you again next week. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm just going to read one more comment and then I'm gone. So Lynn, thank you so much, Joyce. That's a great help to be reminded of how God watches over us and not to be worried about our to-do list for the next day because he is already working on it. Yes, that just helped me so much. So glad that it's been helpful for you too, Lynn. Bless you all. Bless you, daughters and Lynn, with great sleep tonight. And see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.